Welcome to episode 29 of the Scaling Up podcast. If you're watching this and you have not yet subscribed, then what are you even doing? Make sure to subscribe right now. And also go ahead and like this video while you're at it, because why not? And I think we've got a guest coming.
Come on, Drew. Special guest on today's episode.
Yeah, so we've been going ham with catching the preds lately. Just this past week, we boxed two. Well, you boxed two. And got two in the Sting House.
Yep.
As a matter of fact, you boxed an absolute monster
bro.
this week.
It was a tough one.
We'll talk about that in a bit. I'm glad you survived.
Yeah, for real.
And the biggest update that we currently have is that there are some technical difficulties with our Scaling Up Catches channel. So for the time being, we are posting on a brand new channel called Scaling Up Catches Official. And if all goes well and we get all the current issues resolved, we'll be posting on both, the same level of quality content on both, just split up across two channels. But the point is, make sure that you're subbed to both, especially Scaling Up Catches Official, since most people here are probably already subbed to Scaling Up Catches. So link will be in the pinned comment. Also, just a quick first reminder of the video that all of the boxing matches where Tanner boxes the Preds are up on locals for just $10 a month, and link is in the pinned comment as well. And don't worry, in case you forget, we'll remind you multiple more times as this video goes on.
Got some bangers on there already.
Yeah, we got two bangers, and
yeah,
including the absolute
monster.
Yeah, I'm just glad you're here still with us.
I'm glad I survived.
Yeah,
I was terrified.
That being said, we have a bunch of fun Pred stories to tell, including the one about the monster. But before we get into that, in order for people to be able to see that, of course, we got to talk about some other men first.
Yep.
And the man that we are talking about this week is none other than our favorite man, well, the second favorite man.
Actually, the same name as the monster.
Yeah. Vitaly.
Yep.
So in this portion of the video, we're talking about the prankster Vitaly, who's in Philippines prison. Not to be confused with Vitaly, the 6'7" monster that Tanner boxed yesterday. Yeah, it's actually kind of ironic that the first pred we caught was from the Philippines. The first pred we boxed, he was from the Philippines. And then the last one we boxed, his name was Vitaly. Like, what are the fucking odds?
Ukraine. Is that where Vitaly's from, or is he from Russia?
He was born in Russia, but he grew up in Ukraine.
Oh, okay.
So he's technically from both.
So what's the updates about Vitaly, the prankster?
The big headline this week is that there are some new photos of him, which it's about fucking time. Like,
for real.
If we were gonna talk about him, we can't keep using the same fucking thumbnail over and over.
Yeah, they've been hiding the updates.
Yeah, so there are some new photos of him since he's being transferred from the immigration detention center in the Philippines to an actual prison. And as you can imagine, he's lost a lot of size. And that's the news. Okay, so first of all, what are your thoughts?
My thoughts on this whole subject, or
the transformation, or just, yeah.
I mean, it's sad, bro. Like, obviously he was going to lose some size, not eating right coming off cycle, but he looks very, like, malnourished, and like it's muscle atrophy. It's not only losing weight, it's like muscle atrophy at this point.
I mean, realistically, it looks like that to us. Well, I mean, it is that, but it looks that way because we're used to seeing him as the Vitaly that he is. But realistically, he went from a slightly above average physique to just an average one. So a lot of the people, like, making fun of him in the comments, like, oh, look at how he looks now. Like,
yeah, but after a few years of this, imagine what he's gonna look like on that diet. He's not gonna look good. It's like face is start gonna shrink in. Like, you just look like you're not eating enough nutrients.
Yeah, well, hopefully it's not gonna be a couple years. But also, that's a good point that he's definitely malnourished. He's probably not weight training, so it's not all just, oh, roids, or he's off the roids.
Well, yeah, obviously.
Like, yeah, the sky is blue. Like,
yeah.
Obviously he's off the roids, but it's just a combination of not eating enough and not training with weights. I mean, he looks about how I'd expect him to look by now, if not better, honestly.
Yeah.
If I'm being real.
Held on to a little bit at least so far. So if he's getting transferred to a prison and there's no updates on how much time he's doing or anything?
The last updates that we have is that they're pretty much just going to pursue the charges for the unjust fixation. They dropped a lot of the other charges, and I believe he has 4 counts, and each one could be up to 3 months in the prison. So it seems like he could
go up to a year.
Yeah, so it's not as bad. That's from what I understand. Again, a lot of these with both like Somali and Vitaly, the information is all over the place.
He's getting off. He got lucky, bro. He's getting off with a year or less. Damn.
I mean, I wouldn't quite call it lucky.
Well, I mean, could have been a lot worse, bro, being in another country.
I mean, for sure. I guess that's the whole update. There's not really much else I can say about this that adds any value to the discussion. For those that don't know my stance on the whole issue, I had a personal beef with Vitaly. I really, really strongly disliked them a lot more than most people did before this whole thing happened. But ever since it happened, I pretty much came to the rational conclusion that the punishment doesn't fit the crime. And I'm not gonna sit here and act like he's Ted Bundy and he deserves the death sentence when I used to do the same exact kind of content myself. It just wasn't live streamed and it wasn't in a third world country. But yeah, we used to do the same type of content ourselves.
Exactly.
We just were never offered 10K an hour, or else God knows what we would have done.
Yeah, I definitely don't think he deserves to be sitting in a Philippines prison at all, to be honest, at this point.
It's been what, like 3 months now? I feel like that's for what he did, like realistically, especially considering that it's the fucking Philippines jail. It's not like just the American jail.
But all the Philippines, if this gets an algorithm, are still gonna be here in the comments.
And you know what? I want to know, Filipino people, what are your thoughts on this? Do you think Vitaly deserves this? Are you proud of your country? Are you proud to be Filipino? Let me know in the comments.
They all do.
If it helps with the algorithm.
Yeah.
That's the cool thing about the Filipino people. Like they're very helpful with the algorithm.
For sure.
But the only thing that sucks is the ad revenue.
Yeah, you guys' ad revenue is very low.
Yeah, thank God Wes Watson isn't in the Philippines. Then we'd be fucked. Is there anything else to add on Vitaly?
Is there anything you want to say to the Filipino people while they're here?
I want to know their thoughts on the first pred that we boxed from the Philippines.
Sure. That's a good question. Yeah, what are your thoughts on that guy? What do you think he deserves?
Well, okay, yeah. What do you think the first pred who came to meet a 15-year-old boy wanted to, what did he say? Rearrange his guts. Have sex with him so hard that he rearranges his guts.
He's from the Philippines.
Here's a good question to the Filipino people. Would you trade that guy for Vitaly? Would you give us Vitaly back to get that guy? I'm actually curious. I feel like they wouldn't.
Wouldn't what?
They wouldn't take that guy for Vitaly. Like, give us
Put him in
Vitaly
prison?
back, but put that guy in Philippines prison.
That's insane if they don't. I mean, it just goes to show, like you kind of said before, nobody's perfect. A lot of people who are in the comments talking shit about Vitaly have done worse things to Vitaly. We're not saying, you're not as far as being a... But I guarantee that guy who we caught showing up to meet with a 15-year-old is just like some of the people that are in the comments talking shit about Vitaly.
All right, I'm gonna take a smoke break real quick and then we'll talk about all the... Oh, shit.
The following contest is a 3-round boxing match. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner from Jacksonville, Florida, weighing in at 212 pounds. He is undefeated against Miles Tanner Big Red Williams. And his opponent, fighting out of the blue corner from Gardena, California, by way of Lima, Peru, weighing in at 149 pounds, Paulo the Pile!
Don't hold, don't throw, don't punch, back, okay? Listen my command. Up, fight.
See this only on scalingupcatches.locals.com.
That being said, now that we've lured you in by talking about other men, let's talk about what we actually want to talk about. And I guess let's start with our YouTube situation and the YouTube Stinkhouse Catches. So as we said at the start of the video, we're posting on a brand new channel called Scaling Up Catches Official. Make sure you're sub to that one. There were some technical difficulties with the OG Scaling Up Catches one. That's honestly the reason that we didn't post for as long as we did. It's not because we didn't have any content to post. It's not because we've been taking a mental health break or anything like that. When we said that we're going all in on the catches, trust me, like that's literally all we've been doing the past couple months. Like we've just been catching back to back to back to back, whether it's the boxing matches or it's the Stinkhouse ones. We're currently sitting on a shit ton of content, so that's not an issue. It's again some technical difficulties, and it does kind of suck because even though it's only 9K subs on the other channel, all of those 9K subs were all from long form content and all people who want to see that specific genre of content, and all subs are not created equal. Like, let's be real, the 1 million that I have and the 400K that Tanner has on our main channels, those are mostly from shorts, and I'm grateful for all of them, but it's pretty much just a cool flex and nothing more. Realistically, it doesn't translate to the views or the money that like legit long form subscribers do. So the new Scaling Up Catches official channel is the channel formerly known as No One Safe Raw, so we pretty much just changed it to Scaling Up Catches official, and at least we have that. But I was honestly a bit super bummed out at first to go from posting on the channel where we built up that loyal following, spend months building it up, just to go to posting it on another channel where it's a bit of a different audience.
Yeah, it's like from complete random videos. all kinds of different audiences came from that channel.
And what sucks too, like what really bummed me out too, is that the first 2 videos on the OG channel were fucking bangers, and then the first one, like our fucking introduction to all of your viewers on the new channel, is a fucking runner. Yeah. So guys, do us a favor, go sub to the new channel, go show some love to the first video that is on there, because the next video coming up
banger, bro.
is a fucking banger.
That's a great video. The person we caught, just everything.
Yeah, so the person we caught, he was traveling from Texas to California, and he not only has a wife who doesn't know about any of this, but he has 3 kids of his own, and his oldest daughter is 13, which the decoy he came to meet is 14, so just around the same age. We told this guy he has the option of either calling his wife or calling the police. Of course, we would have called the police either way. We literally, like, we had your girl calling the police on the outside. We were just using that as a stalling method pretty much. And he was pretty much begging not to call his wife. He said he would rather call the police. Just do not tell his wife, no matter what.
He kept saying jail, I choose jail.
Then when the police arrived and he was in handcuffs, he's like, okay, can you just please call my wife?
Bro, he looked at me, he's like literally crying, like in handcuffs. I'm just like, this is what you wanted.
I mean, he technically chose it even though.
Exactly. And then the cop giving him the whole fucking, what do you want to call it?
Yeah, so these cops were just, once the police arrived, they pretty much took over this catch. Like, they literally interrogated him like Alex Rosen style, to the point where, like, they made us look like fucking amateurs. Like, the interrogation we did prior, they just fucking took over the whole fucking video.
They got him to admit to everything. It was fucking crazy.
Not that we didn't.
Granted, like, they are cops and they have that, you know, kind of a intimidation factor, obviously, but still, it was just funny. And then the other cop that came, he was cool as fuck.
Yeah, we'll get into that one in a bit. But with that one, it felt like we literally created an impromptu episode of Cops. Like, we literally just did all the behind the scenes work, and then we just put the cops to work and filmed it all. Like, literally, the cops took over this fucking catch. They did all the fucking interrogating. Like, normally in most spread catching videos, the cops are just briefly in at the end for a couple seconds. This one is probably half the video is going to be the cops.
Interrogating him.
Yeah, you got like a perfect camera shot.
Yeah.
You literally just set up the camera outside, then went back inside.
Yep.
And I had to keep telling you to, like, be quiet because
the gimbal audio.
Yeah, it had the audio from the camera. So we were about the same distance from the camera as the cops and him were. So
luckily the mic is good on the gimbal.
Yeah, that's also why, you know, I kept being like, shh, you can't talk over. Yeah, so this is going to be a banger to say the least. So stay tuned for that one. And then we had another guy come to the Sting house. This one came to not only have sex with a 14-year-old, but he wanted a long-term relationship with a 14-year-old girl. And this guy also has a kid himself. Again, as you can see, like, the people we pick for the Sting house to send them straight to jail are significantly worse than the people we pick for the boxing matches.
100%.
And this was another runner. He's definitely panicking right now, and he deleted all of his socials after this happened. And we're not just gonna upload another video of a runner. Needless to say, this was pretty much just the intro of the video. So we have a surprise for him. I'm not gonna say what it is because I feel like there is a chance he might have done some research. That's probably all he's doing.
For real? Like trying to look us up and shit?
Yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised if he's watching this right now. Although, by the time this video drops, literally this video is gonna drop as we're surprising him with our surprise. So
what if he's watching it? Like right now during this part of the podcast we come in. He's probably fucking freaking out.
Regardless, we did report him to Alhambra as well. And we did get some new information from the cops that we technically, since we suspect these people of committing a crime and they're on the premises where the crime is occurring, we could hold them.
In Alhambra?
Yeah, do a citizen's arrest.
Supposedly.
See, okay, so here's the thing, bro. I'm pretty sure that's the case anywhere. But as you already know, like, laws aren't real.
If they want to use shit against you.
It's just a matter of who the cop is that shows up, where we are. So, yeah, I would definitely be careful with that.
I want to do it so bad, though.
I know. I think we'll be good doing it in Alhambra, but
to a certain point, we can't just, like, start beating the fuck out of them.
Well, right? Like they said, we can use reasonable force just to detain them until the cops come.
So basically kind of push them down and
we can put them in handcuffs. Yeah. We obviously can't just, like, do a Wes Watson elevation gym, beat up, but, you know.
It'd be cool if we could.
Well, you kind of...
yeah, we do with the boxing shit.
Yeah.
It's just so fun, by the way. Beating up so satisfying.
What if I told you that that was the last one yesterday and you have to go back to doing pranks?
The last I got to beat up?
Yeah.
That would suck. I'd be sad not being able to beat up.
Like, the more and more we do this, the more PTSD I get from the thought of having to do pranks again.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not that I'm against doing pranks, it's just this just feels like something more valuable and better to the community.
Yeah, this is fulfilling and it actually has potential, whereas the pranks are just a fucking dead end. But we've talked about that to death. Also, I do want to briefly point out before we get into the boxing matches, one of those autistic comments from people who are just scrolling, which is about our decoy, which is Tanner's girlfriend, and that's about her obviously not looking like a minor. And yeah, also the sky's blue. Like, we fucking know. The thing is, we use FaceApp to make her look like a legit little girl, and I can even put up an example on the screen, like put up before and after, so you guys can see what it actually looks like when they're talking on the app.
Works pretty good.
And we can even do this for videos as well. So when she sends them, when they ask for videos and shit, she can be like, hey, you know, Vitaly, whatever. Yes, I'm real, blah, blah, blah. And then with the filter, it looks like a legit little girl.
Yeah.
So like the thing is, when the pred arrives, the crime has already been committed. So at that point, it could be my fucking grandma as the decoy. It doesn't matter who it is. They already arranged a meeting for sex with somebody who they believe is a minor. The decoys, your girl's only job is to get them inside the house, because just optically it looks better doing the video inside a well-lit house where we can set up our own camera angles versus doing it ratchet on the street where there's elements out of our control. So that's literally the only purpose of the decoy. It's not to look like a kid in that moment. At that point, it doesn't fucking matter. And by the time they see her, it's dark outside most of the time, and they have about 30 seconds until we pull up. So at that point, they rarely even pick up on it. And if they do, again, it's too fucking late. It doesn't even matter. And I mean, even if they're thinking it, you gotta think, a lot of these preds are so desperate. Like the guy with the family who came, he literally said that he was on this dating app trying to find somebody to cheat on his wife with for 6 months, and nobody showed any interest in him until this 14-year-old girl did.
Supposedly.
Bro, I believe it.
You don't think he's ever cheated before this?
I don't know, but I believe that he went 6 months without anybody showing interest in him.
I mean, true. I guess I could believe.
Bro, you gotta look at how some of these guys' dating profiles are set up.
Right.
If you look at how they talk, like, bro.
Oh, I know. They just sound like creeps. It's like who in their right mind would actually meet up with someone like that? A decoy.
Yeah, so you gotta think, like, even if they show up and they have suspicions, like, oh damn, she looks a little different, that's still like a live female in front of them. They're not just gonna leave.
Exactly.
Like, they probably haven't seen a live female who wants to meet up with them in a long time. So
it's pretty much impossible to find an actual like 18-year-old decoy or someone around that age that actually looks young.
Yeah, at this point it's just literally your girl. And if we somehow don't get a pred using your girl, which at this point it's not gonna happen. Like, I have so many leads at this point now that I've been doing this for a couple weeks.
Hugo's a decoy sometimes.
That's what I'm saying. Like, the only two people are our close friend Hugo and your girlfriend. Like, random people just are not gonna, just like, they're not gonna just be camera people. Like, it's just not gonna happen.
Even worse. I think it's even harder finding decoys than camera people.
I mean, it's about the same.
About the same?
I mean, at the very least, with decoys, they just need to send pics. Like, it's an easier job versus being a camera person. You can't fucking have aneurysms, which people seem to struggle with.
Well, yeah, I guess it's harder to find a skilled camera person than someone who can just send pics.
But that's how the Stinghouse catches went. We also got 2 more boxing matches. We're just pumping these out right now that we've got the hang of things. So the first 2 are already up on locals for just $10 a month, which you can watch. Link is in the pinned comment. And let's talk about the 2 more that we got this week. And unfortunately, we got to start with the less exciting one.
It was still pretty hilarious.
I know you want to talk about the monster.
Yeah.
Because everybody wants to hear about how it went with Vitaly, the 6'7" monster. So the first one was a guy from Nicaragua who did not speak a single word of English. And first of all, anytime we get a Hispanic guy or any foreigner in general, we try to have a translator on hand just so they fully understand what's going on. And this guy was probably the worst out of the no English people yet. Like, he did not speak a single word of English, like, at all. On the phone.
Understand anything.
Yeah, when we got on the calls with him, it was like, what the fuck? Like, your girl didn't even know what to say because he was just like basically speaking a different language. It was worse than the guy who ran out of the Stinghouse. Like, it was fucking terrible. So last second that day, my translator texts me that he can't make it. So we're panicking now because without a translator, what does it look like? It looks like 2 giant men dressed in all black are approaching you. You don't understand what they're saying.
You should run.
You think it's either cops or you're being kidnapped or whatever. So if they don't speak English, every single time they're just gonna yell, no, 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 and run away. That's all.
No, I good. No, I'm sorry.
Pretty much like with the Turkish spread.
Yeah.
Like, if we had a translator, I'm confident that he could have.
For sure.
Stuck
Could
around.
get him to stay.
Yeah. So I made a story asking for a translator, and some people dead ass replied to my story saying, oh, you can just use ChatGPT. That translates. Like, did you know? You can just use ChatGPT.
Yeah, we need like a physical person in front of him standing.
Like this, yeah, this isn't fucking amateur hour. Like, that delay and like the inaccuracy in what ChatGPT is actually gonna say is the difference between the pred actually staying and agreeing to box versus them just running. Like literally that little difference is all it can take. Just convincing them to box comes down to so many different logistics, like the location we meet them at, how we present ourselves, what spots we sit down in. Like that whole presentation is key to actually getting them to agree to go across the street and box.
Yeah, it's all about body language and just speaking them and convincing them.
It seems like with anything, everyone always underestimates like the little details that goes into making a video happen. But anyway, I tried my best and I scrambled to get a live translator in person, but no one got back to us on time. Granted, it was super short notice, so we just ended up going with a regular translator on the phone. And one of the reasons I didn't want to do it on the phone is because it would cause a huge scene. Because in person, you can just kind of use your indoor voice and speak to them, whereas when you're on speakerphone, it draws way more attention, and cause a scene it did. I mean, so
well, it was busy that day.
Yeah, not only with the speakerphone, but there was not a single booth available. The only spot available to sit down was basically like, imagine Chipotle, like, you know, those tables where everybody just kind of sits together. Like that's where she fucking sat him down at. At first I thought he was just gonna run. I'm surprised he didn't. But yeah, so it was like one of those tables where everybody just kind of sits together. So we literally had to sit down with him there and have the whole conversation there on speakerphone, and literally it just got like silent inside the McDonald's.
Everybody was staring at us.
Yeah, they were
not
just,
everybody, but everybody who was around us.
Yeah, they were kind of just trying to eavesdrop, see what's going on. And as always, I wonder what they were actually thinking. Like, they probably thought we abducted
just
another person.
someone.
So we convinced this guy to box, and this guy ended up just being a straight troll. He was wearing braces, so he was very scared to get his face hit. He even, in the brief moment that we had the translator off the phone, he put on Google Translate for me, like, please don't hit my face. Like, bro, it's boxing. Yeah. It's not ballet. Yeah, so the whole time, he basically just, he was just standing like that, blocking his face. Yeah. So you ended up pretty much just using him as like a punching bag, just like beating the shit out of him with body shots. And you would like beat the fuck out of him. To the point where he like dropped on the ground. Then the ref would start to count. Yeah. Then the ref would start to count. Every time I thought it was going to be it. And then he pops back up at 9. Yeah. He's like, come on. It's like, is that all you got, basically?
Yeah, he got fucked up, bro. There's a very high chance he has some broken ribs, for sure.
I mean, the ref had to stop it because if they weren't already broken, they were.
Yeah, like the redness was like getting worse and worse, and he was not breathing normal. And his face was bloody too, so I was catching him in the face too, as much as he was blocking. But yeah, he kept getting back up until the end of the third round. Towards the end of it, I think he couldn't get up anymore.
And this guy, for a pred, he probably had the most heart out of any pred so far.
For sure.
And I think from just beating him up so hard, what did you fuck up, your shoulder?
Yeah, I felt it in like the back of my shoulder, so I'm assuming it's like my rotator cuff and my wrist. The shoulder is pretty much 100% healed. The wrist is like 85% healed, so it's whatever. It's not that big of a deal.
And you were also sick that day.
Oh yeah, I was sick as fuck. That's probably why I hurt myself.
Which is fucking gay. You get sick.
It's super gay.
So now the fun part that everybody wants to hear about. Vitaly, the 6'7" monster. So you were actually supposed to box him the same day as the first guy, but he wasn't responding for a long period of time, so we were like, fuck it. You wanted to hold it off until you're fully recovered, because I mean,
he's a monster.
Yeah, you want to be 100% for that one, right?
Yeah.
So you've been pissed from the start, basically, that it's been all twerps and none of them are really fighting back. Mm-hmm. Like
they're all just covering up, acting scared.
You just wanted an actual competition. So when an actual 6'7" Russian guy fell for the bait, which I never thought in a million years is even possible. Again, most of these guys are fucking like losers. Like, how could a 6'7" guy, like, surely he can get girls his own age. Like,
I feel like in LA, exist in all shapes and sizes,
but it's definitely more rare. Like, most of them are gonna be smaller guys. Yeah. But yeah, when I saw him fall for the bait, I was like, yes, and I worked extra hard on him. Like, I made sure Jeanette sent him every fucking stupid photo, every stupid video, hopped on every stupid phone call that he wanted, like whatever this motherfucker wanted.
And he was needy.
Yeah. I wanted to make sure that we get this guy because he wanted competition. And of course, you were confident as fuck that you were gonna beat him like you are with everybody. But I was telling you, don't underestimate this guy. He's
a monster.
This is a monster. Yeah, so I don't even know how to put this into words. Like, you guys are gonna have to see the actual video, but this guy ended up being the biggest pussy I think any of us have ever seen in our lives. It's just, I'm still in awe.
He was an absolute bitch. From start to finish, before, during, and after the boxing match, he was a fucking bitch.
Yeah, so from the start, just the McDonald's talk, when we come into McDonald's normally and we have that talk with them, usually it's a 2-minute talk. Just like there's 2 options. We can either call the police or you go across the street, box 3 rounds. It's just going to be a light sparring match. What would you like to do? And, you know, they just automatically pick the boxing normally. This guy, he was the most paranoid. Not... She's like, shut the fuck up. Yeah. now that I look back at it, looking at how paranoid he was, like every other sentence was like, oh, I really hope I don't go to jail, this and that. For as paranoid as he was about going to jail, you would think that this guy would jump at the opportunity at like avoiding that and just...
Either that or run. That's what I thought was gonna happen.
Because he clearly knew the consequences. He asked like a million fucking times, are you sure I'm not gonna go to jail? And as the 15-year-old girl, I'm like, well, why would you go to jail? That's silly. But then he was just like, it was just a joke. I don't know how to box. Like, he started saying all this dumb shit. Then we get to the gym, and the ref, the owner of the gym, has to convince him, like it's another 30-minute conversation to get him to go into the ring. He's like, what if he kills me? The owner's like, you see this? I'm the referee. That's not gonna happen in my gym. He's like, hey, if these guys wanted to kill you, they would have done it at McDonald's. Like, they're bringing you here to have a sanctioned sport. Like, you should be saying thank you. Then he's like, well, he asked for the fucking headgear. You didn't want to give this guy headgear because we thought he'd be some savage. Yeah. And then we give him the headgear. He's like, oh, well, this doesn't have anything for the nose. And the ref is like, well, you have your hands for that.
And you guys were speaking Russian the whole time, so I had no idea what you were saying, but I could just tell the whole time he was being a bitch.
I'm pissed though, because he didn't speak a word of English either. I mean, luckily I speak Russian, but no, I have to edit the whole fucking video, so...
Yeah, literally there's no possible way I could edit it. It would just be raw.
Especially this one, because the whole thing is so fucking long. Like, you wouldn't even know which parts to leave in. And it's a lot of the same thing over and over. He's like, oh, can I go to my car to put my stuff real quick? What if you guys rob me? And he's like, again, if they wanted to rob you, they would have already done it. Then he's like, who do you think is gonna rob you? Me? Him? Like, tell me, who's gonna rob you here? I mean, it's literally a fucking Soviet boxing gym.
The guy was big as fuck, bro. I don't get why he's such a bitch.
Yeah, he was giant. Like, I understand if he ended up in the hood with people who speak a different language. Like, if he was that kind of a bitch with us, like, like, how is... Jesus Christ. Like, clearly he was just stalling, because this guy wouldn't last in jail or prison. In LA County jail for trying to meet with a minor? I haven't even told you how the fight went. Once the bell rang and the match started, I don't think anybody could have seen what was coming. As much of a bitch as he was, like, we at least expected something.
Yeah,
literally.
Maybe swing.
The moment you would go up to him and hit him,
I threw one punch.
He'd be like, oh. He'd get on his knees and start crying. Crying literal tears.
And I would still try to hit him when he's covered up. And he would be like, oh! It's so dramatic.
I mean, and the owner's like, come on, there's no crying at this gym. It's like, oh, it hurts.
The funniest shit ever, bro.
Like, it's just unreal.
Imagine if we could post that video on YouTube, bro. Like, fuck. This is so funny.
That was so pathetic that having a video of you getting knocked out would be more favorable, more respectable than the video that he's gonna have out of himself.
Yeah, that's about as worse as it gets.
Even though he got less of an ass kicking, technically, he got the most embarrassing video yet.
I'd rather get the shit beat out of me than look like that. It was terrible.
I can kind of understand that reaction if you have like 10 men with fucking ARs like pointed at you, but
even then, I don't think I would react as dramatic as you did.
Like, bro, over a fucking sparring match with the referee?
Yeah, like we have him tied up, cutting off his limbs and shit, like torturing him.
And the fact that he has the size advantage on you too, like, I could picture some twerp acting like that, but literally all of the twerps put up way more of a fight than he did. Like, what the hell was...
Even the first one, and he was a bitch. He couldn't fight for shit, and even he, like, came back and put his hands up.
But yeah, you guys wanted to see Tanner fight somebody closer to his size. You got to see him fight somebody bigger than him, and
it's going up on locals.
Yeah. So I've got another giant on my radar, but you know, even this guy, if he ends up showing up, the thing is, like, I've seen some comments on Instagram like, oh, what if one day somebody shows up and they're like a trained boxer and they beat your ass? If somebody has the ability to beat Tanner's ass, they're probably not preying on children. Like, they can probably get girls their own age.
It's just not gonna happen.
Like, now that I've met this guy in person, at first I was like, how is a 6'7" guy, like, he can't get...
see his personality.
Now I can see why. So, you know, most predators are fucking weirdos. They're not gonna be pro boxers. They're not gonna be some Chad. Like, it's just not gonna happen. Maybe like 1 in a billion, but...
Yeah, I was gonna say a side story, but it's irrelevant to this because there actually was one. Jeanette knew personally. He was actually like a professional fighter and got caught like like a 14-year-old or something killed himself. That's a whole different discussion.
Yeah. But it's very rare.
Yeah.
Most of them are going to be fucking weirdos.
And not only to like be a pred, but like to show up to these baits. What type of person? Like it's not even about being a weirdo and being attracted to young girls. Maybe there is some like people who can fight, but like to be that stupid, to show up to these baits on a dating app, you gotta be some weird ass stupid motherfucker. There's just no way. This doesn't go together.
And again, you can see these fights coming soon, plus many more every week, plus the ones that are already up on locals for just $10 a month. So far, we've been spending all of our money on the Airbnbs every week and the boxing gym. We have not made a single dollar off of YouTube yet. So the locals is pretty much what keeps us going. You know the group called Dads Against Predators? Mm-hmm. If you guys don't start subbing to the locals, we're gonna have to call ours Hobos Against Predators at this rate.
Skid Row against predators.
We can be Predator Poachers Skid Row branch.
Yeah. Catch them in Skid Row, set up a tent and bait them there.
But again, you're not just paying for support. Like, as much as this is us e-begging, like you're getting more than your money's worth. You're not gonna see content like this anywhere else. And again, for the millionth time, I wish I could post this content on YouTube. It just would never be allowed.
Now that we've already done 4 matches, it's just so entertaining, bro. Even myself, I like watch it all the time just because it's just so funny watching get their ass beat.
It's probably our best content like on any platform,
yeah.
And you get it for only $10 a month, which is a steal. But also a quick side note about the locals, you technically can join the locals for free. So when you go to sign up to locals, you put in, like, you create an account, you can join the locals for free. It's basically like a little mini forum. I understand that it's a bit confusing because like on Patreon, for example, you will not see anything until you actually put your credit card info in. But on locals, sure, you can join for free, but all you're gonna see is the thumbnails of the videos. Like you can't actually watch them. So I know when you first sign up to locals, what it feels like. It's like, oh, is there a glitch right now? Like, oh, I didn't even have to pay. What the fuck? Is the system broken or something? Did I just finesse it? And then like, you can't see the video. Like, oh, maybe it'll work later. Like something's not right here. Trust me, you gotta pay to watch the videos. Like you're not finessing anybody. It's $10 a month, and that's, again, that's honestly a steal either way. So I just wanted to give that side note because I feel like some people are signing up and then they're like, they think they already signed up and they're confused why the videos aren't playing. Like you do have to become a supporter, which means pay the $10 a month.
Cheaper than any show subscription these days, and you don't see getting their ass beat on there.
I can't think of any other paywall content from any other content creator that's this entertaining. Again, most paywall content is literally just throwaway content that they don't want to put out. It's basically almost like behind the scenes second channel type shit because they know it's not going to get that many views. So they're just like, ah, fuck it. Like we can just throw it on there. Like with us, you're literally getting our best content, which in a logical world, that's how it should be. Like you're paying for premium content. You're literally getting premium content.
Yeah, most of the time it's the exact opposite.
Yeah, like you get the good content for free and then you pay just to show support just out of the kindness of your heart. And we would appreciate that kindness right now, but that's obviously not all you're paying for. Is that everything on that note?
Yeah, I think so.
At the end of every episode, as you guys know, we read all super thanks, $5 and up. And this week we got a total of 0.
0?
Yeah.
Come on.
But you know what? It's okay because a lot of people did join the locals.
Yeah,
so
true.
I do appreciate that.
True.
And I'd rather you guys join the locals. I mean, if you guys want to ask a question, leave a $5 super thanks. We'll answer it, of course. But I would prefer you join the locals. I mean, you will too. There's just so much good shit on there. I mean, already there's 2 bangers on there, and there's just gonna be more and more and more coming. Now we have the hang of it. We're
gonna get good.
Yeah, we're just gonna keep pumping them out pretty much.
We have a lot of ideas on how to spice things up a little bit. So
I mean, at some point we're gonna do, like, we have a pro boxer friend. We'll do 2-on-2.
2 versus 5.
Well, that
1 versus 3.
Logistically, it's gonna be hard to get more than 2 at once.
Yeah, we have to get to that point one day.
But yeah, we're just gonna make it crazy and crazy. We're gonna do 1-on-2. Like,
that's probably
pred versus pred. The winner gets a prize, and the prize is moving on in the tournament. And they face Tanner. So yeah, we're just gonna start adding little gimmicks. But for now, just the straight up boxing matches are just
beating the fuck out of them.
You haven't even gotten one. I hope at some point you actually get like a good fight.
I know, like someone actually swings back.
Yeah.
I mean, they've tried to swing back, but someone actually almost hits me or maybe hits me. Yeah, that's going to be a lot more entertaining because there'll be a lot more thrown, a lot more action instead of when they just fucking cower up and I'm just beating on them.
But hey, a lot of people just want to see Preds beat up.
Oh yeah.
And we're
that's still
that.
satisfying too. I love beating the fuck out of them.
We're providing that. And, you know, the last guy, I think I forgot to mention this part. He said that his excuse for coming, the monster, was that he was just joking around. I'm like, do you joke around like this often? He's like, no, it's my first time. And then I was like, oh, don't worry, we're just gonna joke around in the ring for a bit too.
What did he say to that?
I don't think there's much he could say, but he actually ended up, maybe he is a comedian, maybe he was just trolling, because that's gonna be the funniest video yet. Just the visual of this like giant monster.
Shit was hilarious.
Like if it was some little twerp acting like that, like that's how you would expect them to act. But this is the last thing we were expecting yesterday. At least I was not expecting that.
No, hell no. I was like mentally preparing for it. Like, I'm at a box of 6'7" Russian.
I remember you just being like, what is this? In the middle of the match.
I like took my mouthpiece off. I'm like, what the fuck?
You even took one glove off?
This is the first time I wore a mouthpiece. Because I was like, maybe I'm going to get hit this time.
Little did you know.
Yeah, and I took one glove off. I boxed him with one arm.
Yeah, but we do have another monster on the radar, so hopefully he's a little more monstrous than this one was.
We'll run into that monster eventually.
But yeah, I guess that's pretty much it for this week. Make sure to sub to the locals. Also the new channel. Make sure you're sub to both of the Scaling Up Catches channels, Scaling Up Catches and Scaling Up Catches Official. And until next time, we're out of here.